Hey guys, Miss Harper here for our Unit 2 test review over functions. Remember our keyword for functions? Fun! Alright, we're going to look at a couple of these, starting here with number 1. The question asks, determine whether each relation is a function. Circle yes or no. If it is not, tell why. Alright, so looking here at number 1. Alright, remember our goal for determining if something is or is not a function is that we're looking for repeating inputs or repeating x values. So we're going to look at our x values. I have -3, -2, 0, 1, and 4. None of those numbers are repeating, so yes, this is a function. Alright, remember if we look at our y values, we do see that the 5s are all repeating, but that is a-okay. Alright, skipping down here to number 3. All right, is this one a function or not? All right, so remember how we read a map. This is showing me the point. Sometimes it's helpful to put them into a table. We have the point 2, -8, 2, -8. Then I have 2, 0. And then I have 2, 1, and 2, 2. And my last point here is 5, -5. So as you can see, we have lots of repeating 2s, so it's not good to have all these arrows coming off of one of our x values. So no, and why? Because we have repeating x values. Repeating x values, and those repeating x values are 2. All right, and then let's look at one more for these ones. We're going to look at number 5. All right, is this a function? Remember, looking from a graphing standpoint, again, you can either make a table like we did up here on number 3, or remember we have the thing called the VLT, the vertical line test. All right, so right here, we can see we are having some issues. All right, anywhere I draw that vertical line test, it's sitting here in 1, 2, and 3 spots. There it's 2 spots, and then we have another 3 spots here. That indicates that we have repeating x values. Why? It does not pass the vertical line test, or you can say that there's repeating x values, however you'd like to express that. Shimmying down here to our next little section, 7 through 10. All right, it says to list the ordered pairs. I'm only going to cover a couple of these. I want to help y'all in plotting these points over here. So first, number 7 says list the ordered pairs on the table. All right, so remember how we list these ordered pairs. This is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. So to get my x value, let's look at this point right here. All right, so I'm going to go move on my x-axis. This is -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's -7 for my x. And then I have to drop down, okay, on my y-axis, and this is down -1. All right, and that's how we plot those points. All right, let's look at one more of those points. Let's look at this one over here. This is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, 5 for my x value. And then I have to drop down 1 and 2. Drop down, that's going to be -2 for the y value. Alrighty, so go ahead and finish filling out the other 3 points on your graph. But is this a function? The answer here is yes. He does pass the vertical line test. And then remember, as we list our domain and range, I'm not going to list it all for you, but remember we always list it from least to greatest. We don't repeat any values, and we always use our brackets. So for example, what I have so far for my domain, I would list the -7 first because he's the smallest number, remember least to greatest. If I was looking at my range, I might list that -2 first, okay? And then we can go on and finish listing the rest there. All right, on to the back side. Okay, I'm going to go over number 11 with you. All right, solve for y. All right, so here's the variable I'm trying to solve for. Remember, cover this guy up and think about who do we need to get rid of first. All right, we always get rid of any addition or subtraction. So if I'm trying to get y by himself, I want to get rid of this x value. I'm going to do that by adding 2x to both sides. I want to pick them up and drop them off. If you're moving to the opposite side, we use the opposite operation. That's going to cancel out. I have 4y equals. Now you can put this in any order. You can say 8 plus 2x or 2x plus 8. All right, and then I want to reduce this to 1y. Right now I have 4 y's. I would like to simplify that to 1 by dividing by 4. Whatever you do to one thing, you have to do to the others. So I'm going to divide everything by 4. I'm going to write my final answer over here. 4y divided by 4 would be 1y. Oops, I don't think you can see that. 1y equals, all right, 2 over 4. If you have your calculator and you plug that in, 2 over 4 simplifies to 1 over 2. So that becomes 1/2 x. And then 8 divided by 4 is a positive 2. So y equals 1/2 x plus 2. Now you can also have this answer. Some students will write x over 2 plus 2, and that would be representing the same thing. All right, on number 12, don't be afraid of the fraction. All right, remember, same thing, cover up your variable. Okay, get rid of any addition or subtraction first. So in this case, you would subtract 6 first. All right, and then I'm going to let y'all finish there. Okay, after that, you'll have a over 2 equals -8. Think about what would be the opposite of dividing by 2 there. Okay, that would be to multiply, and then you can multiply both sides. All right, I'm going to look next at number 14. Excuse me. The perimeter of a triangle is 42 inches. If the 3 sides have lengths of this, that, and that, find all 3 sides. All right, so if you remember perimeter means that we add all sides. Add all sides. And then we can set it equal to the given perimeter. All right, tells us that the perimeter is 42. So let me draw these out. I'm going to say this side is x plus 2. This side can be 2x plus 3. This side can be 2x plus 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you can either list these all out or however you'd like to combine your like terms, but I'm going to say this plus this plus this equals 42. So let's do that. How many total x's would we have? See, I have 1 plus 2 is 3 x's plus another 2. It would make that for 5 x's. Okay, and then let's look at our single digits. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 7 is another 12. Okay, and then again we set it equal to what the given perimeter was. Alright, and then from here we're just going to solve. I'm going to get rid of my 12 first by subtracting him over. That's gone. I'm left over with 5x equals 42 minus 12 would be 30. And then I have 5 times x. The opposite of multiplying by 5 would be to divide both sides by 5. That reduces to 1x equals 6. Okay, so that's great. We found the value of x, but the question asks us to find all 3 sides. So after you have figured out your x value, what do you need to do? Plug it in. Yes, we need to plug it back in. All right, so I'm going to look back over here. So x plus 2. Well, now I know what x is. X is 6. Oops. Let's try that one more time. So I'm going to do 6 plus 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. So that would be one of my side lengths. Over here I have 2 times 6 plus 3. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3. That would make this side 15. All right, and you might put yours in a different order, and that's okay too. This side would be 2 times 6 plus 7. That's 12 plus 7, which is 19. All right, and this last side would be 19. So again, find your x value and then plug that x value back in. I'm actually going to skip number 15, but I'll get you set up a little bit. Remember, we do get to have a formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. That is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. All right, so set your problem up. I'll at least get you started. It says the perimeter is 44, so I plug in 44 for P. And then I can plug in the length, which is 4x plus 2. Make sure you are putting those expressions inside parentheses, otherwise you will get that wrong. And it says that our width is x plus 5. All right, now you can distribute and solve for x. All right, after you have found what x is, make sure you plug it back in so that way you can find the actual length and width, kind of like how we just did on number 14. All right, number 16 is the next one I'm going to go through with y'all. A rectangle has a length of 2x plus 1 and a width of 6. Find the value of x if the area of the rectangle is 102. So our formula here is area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. All right, remember, identify your formula and then plug into your formula. So we know what A is. All right, A is 102 equals the length is 2x plus 1 and the width is 6. Now remember, if you have a single digit and an expression, who needs to go first? Again, it doesn't actually matter which order you write these in, but our single digit should always go first so we distribute him properly. This is 2x plus 1, so we have 6 times 2x plus 1. If you don't set it up this way, you might not distribute it correctly and you will get that wrong. All right, so I have 102 equals 12x plus 6, and now I can solve for x. All right, we subtract 6 to both sides. All right, I'm going to finish that up here. I get 96 equals 12x. All right, then I divide both sides by 12 to finish solving for x. That reduces to 1x equals 8. X equals 8. And that was the question. It asked what is the value of x. Now if it asked me to find the actual length, I would need to go in and plug in that x value. All right, number 17, you have an example just like that on your word problem notes that we covered, so I think y'all can figure that out now. All right, let's look at these last couple function notation ones. All right, so this first one, it says if f of x is equal to 3x minus 1 and g of x equals x plus 1, find the following. So I'm going to look at number 18 and number 21 here. So remember to first pay attention to which letter we're working with. Here we're talking about the f function. Remember, if it's inside your parentheses, that should tell you to plug it inside your equation. I'm going to go ahead and change that to y equals 3x minus 1. And I know that this is saying x equals 3. So I'm going to plug that in for x. So I would have y equals 3 times 3 minus 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. So the corresponding y value here would be y equals 8. So remember, they either give you an x value and you solve for y, or they give you a y value and you solve for x. All right, so like here on number 21, this is giving me g of x equals negative 4. Remember, that's like saying, hey, y equals negative 4. Find the other piece. So they gave me the y value. I'm going to solve for the x value. All right, so I'm going to plug that in, and remember, if it's on the outside, we plug it to the outside of our equation. I have g of x equals x plus 1. All right, I can change this now to, or you could call this y. All right, and I'm going to plug in negative 4 for the y value because it's a y value, and then I'm going to solve for the x value. All right, to solve for x here, I need to get rid of this positive 1 by subtracting it to both sides. I get x equals negative 5. X equals negative 5. Boom. All right, and then in our last one right here, I'm just going to go over number 22. All right, so this is the same thing, except this time they just gave us a set of points to read from. Understand what this is giving us. Is this giving us an x value or a y value? All right, this is saying x equals negative 4. So let's find the matching y value. So I want to go look at these x points until I find negative 4, which I have already found. All right, so here's where x equals negative 4. The matching y value there would be y equals negative 1. You can't really read that very well. Right. Y equals negative 1, and that would be the answer there. I'll go ahead and throw in number 23 real quick. Again, this is giving me a y value this time. This is saying y equals negative 8, so let's find its matching x value. This time I'm going to go read the y values until I can see negative 8, and there he is, and his matching x value there is 3. X equals 3. All right, good luck on your test. If you have any questions, go see your algebra teacher.